Hello students, today we are going to study the fourth chapter of your social studies textbook, the coastal plains and the islands. Look at this map of India. In the southern part of India, we can see water. On all the three sides we can see water. Do you know what is the name given to the land that is covered with water on all the three sides? Yes, it is a peninsula. In the last three chapters, we studied about the different physical features of Indian subcontinent. Do you remember which were they? Look at this map. The northern mountains and plains, the peninsular plateau, the great Indian desert. And now we are going to learn about the coastal plains and islands of India. Our journey through all these places was very interesting, wasn't it? And this chapter that we study about the coastal plains and the island groups of India, it will be more interesting. Now look at this map of India. We started our journey from the northern mountains, that is given in blue color. And we studied about the plains, that is given in green color. The peninsular plateau, that is given in the brown color here. And the great Indian desert, you can see in the yellow color there. Now welcome to the coastal plains and the islands of India. On both sides of this map, do you see green color? That part is the coastal plain. In the eastern side, in the Indian Ocean, we have some island groups, and western side, in the Arabian Sea, we have some island groups. We will study about all these in this lesson. First, let us go to the coastal plains. What is a coastal plain, or what is a coast? A coast is an area of land near the sea or ocean. The Indian peninsula is surrounded by a narrow coastal plain from north to south. See, look at this map. On both sides we can see a green color. Have you seen that? That is the coastal plain. The Indian coastal plains are divided into two parts. The coastal plains covers a length of about 6,000 kilometers in our country. The western and the eastern coastal plains meet each other at the southernmost tip of India's mainland, and that is Kanyakumari. Now let us learn more about the western coastal plain. The western coastal plain lies between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. See, the Western Ghats are marked in red and the western coastal plains are marked in green color. And towards the west of that, it is the Arabian Sea. The coastal plains extend from Gujarat in the north to Kerala in the south. At the top it is Gujarat and bottom it is Kerala. They cover the states of Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Kerala. The Gujarat coastal plains are the broadest between the Gulf of Kutch and the Gulf of Kambat. Gujarat coastal plain, it is little wide, it is broad. Between Gulf of Kambat and Gulf of Kutch, it is little broad, and towards the southern part it is narrow. The soil here in this coastal plain, it is very fertile, and crops such as jowar, bajra and wheat are grown here in these western coastal plains. Kandla is a major port in the Gujarat coast. What is a port? A port is a city with a harbour where the ships load and unload their goods. Kandla is in Gujarat, in the northwestern part. The northern part from the Gulf of Kambat to Goa is called Konkan coast. The southernmost part of the western coastal plains is called the Malabar coast. So you can say it is divided into two mainly, Konkan coast and Malabar coast. Malabar coast extends from Goa to Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu. And this entire region in their western coastal plain receives very heavy rainfall. The states of Maharashtra and Karnataka and the seaports such as Mumbai and Kochi are located along this coast. There are many lagoons found in Kerala which are connected by canals. Do you know what are lagoons? Lagoons are pools or lakes of shallow water. Water will not be very deep there, very less water will be there, which are separated from the sea by areas of sand or rocks. These lagoons are also called the backwaters of Kerala. They serve as major tourist attractions. Many tourists from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, they come to this place to enjoy the beauty of nature there in these lagoons or the backwaters of Kerala. Now let us learn in detail about the eastern coastal plains. The eastern coastal plains lie between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. These plains are wider compared to the western coastal plains. Western coastal plains were very narrow, but eastern coastal plains are not narrow, they are wider compared to western coastal plains. They extend from Bengal to south in Tamil Nadu. They cover the states of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Tamil Nadu. The northern parts of these plains are called the Northern Sarkar, and the southern part of these plains are called as the Coromandel Coast. Visakhapatnam and Machilipatnam are some important harbors situated on the Coromandel Coast. A major part of these plains is formed by the alluvial deposits left by rivers such as Mahanadi, Kaveri, Godavari and Krishna. All these rivers, peninsular rivers, we studied about them in the last chapters when we studied about the Deccan Plateau. All these rivers bring in rich alluvial soil and deposit on the coastal plains, and that's why the coastal plain is very fertile. And these rivers, they form large deltas along the eastern coastal plain. Chilka Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India and is located in Orissa. Do you remember one another salt lake that we studied in our last chapter? You remember that in Rajasthan? What is the name of that? Sambar Lake. And in Odisha, we have another saltwater lake. Its name is Chilka. It is the largest saltwater lake in our country. The Marina Beach in Chennai is the second largest beach in the world. In Chennai, there is a beach named Marina Beach. It is the second largest beach in the world. Now let us look at the importance of these coastal plains. The coastal plains have fertile soil in which different crops such as rice and jute are grown. Coconut trees grow all along the coast. Fishing is an important occupation of people living in coastal areas. Coastal plains have many ports that help in trade. Most of India's international trade is carried out through these ports. Buying and selling goods from other countries, it is done through these ports, which are located on the coastal plains. Some areas of Gujarat such as Jamnagar, Kutch and Porbandar are famous for producing salt. Places such as Goa and Kerala are popular tourist destinations situated on the coastal plain, which attracts large number of tourists to our country every year. That's all about the coastal plains of our country. And now let us go to the island groups of our country. Do you know what is an island? An island is a piece of land surrounded by water. There are two main groups of islands in our country. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal and Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea. Let us learn more about these island groups of our country. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands, as I told you, they are located in the Bay of Bengal. These islands are a union territory of India. What do you mean by union territory? There are two types of administrative divisions in our country: states and union territories. Unlike the states of India, which have their own governments, union territories are territories governed by the central government of India. About these union territories we will be studying in your higher classes. And here, the capital of this union territory, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, is Port Blair. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands consists of 572 islands. Out of these, only 36 are inhabited. Inhabited means people, they live in that. In other islands, there is no one living. These islands have a warm climate throughout the year. Sea breeze keeps the land cool on the island. The wind that blows from the sea, it keeps the island always cool. The islands receive heavy rainfall during the monsoon season, which falls between May and September. The islands are covered with thick forests and have a rich marine life. What do you mean by marine life? Whatever that we can obtain from the sea. Rice is the main crop that is grown in these islands. Not only rice, but papaya, banana, mango, all these type of fruits also grow there. 3 different types of tribal communities live here in these Andaman and Nicobar island groups. They are Onges, Jarawas and Sentinelese. The animals found here are macaques, spotted deer, whales and dolphins. That's all about the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now let us move on to Lakshadweep Islands. Lakshadweep Island is the smallest union territory of India. It is a group of about 3 dozen or almost 36 islands in the Arabian Sea, in the western part of our country. The capital of Lakshadweep is Kavaratti. These islands are also known as Coral Islands. What is a coral island? A coral island is made of hard substances formed from the skeletons of sea animals called corals. Lakshadweep has sandy soil, and that's why banyan tree, tamarind tree and tropical almonds are the trees that are grown here in these Lakshadweep Islands. Not only that, bananas, millets and some vegetables are also grown here in Lakshadweep. Sea animals like sharks, tuna and octopus are also found here in Lakshadweep Islands. And fishing is the most important occupation of the people who are living in these Lakshadweep Islands. Now let us find out how important these islands are. These 2 island groups like Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweeps, they are very important for our country because they are very important tourist destinations of our country. People from other parts of the country and people from other countries, they come to our country to enjoy the beauty of these 2 island groups. Water sports such as scuba diving and rafting are very popular here in these 2 islands. And these islands are home for a number of animals. Not only that, there are large number of sea products that we can obtain from here, from these island groups. These islands are rich in marine life, which encourages trade in marine fish and other seafood. Large number of sea products are exported to other countries, to different parts of our country, and that is one of the sources of income for these island groups. That's all about this chapter. Now watch this video again. Then read your textbook. While you read your textbook, write down the difficult words that you find in this chapter. Then write all those words that you found difficult 5 times each and send those words into my WhatsApp number before 5 o'clock today. Thank you for watching.